Don't take things too personally. Yes, you who's watching, just don't take things too personally. Okay, before you turn away, thanks for joining me for today's coffee time chat where we get real and talk about things that we all know but don't really say. Today I do want to talk about not taking things too personally, and it's related to my last two videos on forgiving other people but also forgiving yourself. And many times, where does this all even start? It starts from when we take things personal and we get easily offended. Now I know you're probably thinking, how can you not take things personal or be offended? Because honestly, it's really difficult to go through even a day without somebody annoying you or causing offense or you taking things personally, because people do stuff all the time. But that's the point. People can do and say what they like. We don't have to take things personally because a lot of the times, as we're going to see, it's not about us. Now, as I said, it doesn't take very long before somebody can say something or do something that we can be offended by and take it personally. Now, it could be a lot of different things. It could be that friend who hasn't called you back or hasn't texted you back in a while. It could also be that coworker who kind of brushed you off at lunch. Maybe somebody cut you off in traffic. Somebody like on the street when they bump into you and like, move it. And you're like, excuse me, what? It can be lots of different things, but it can also be something a bit more serious where you feel that somebody has not responded or been there for you in the way that you thought that they would be there. Maybe you were going through something and you felt somebody was going to be there, but you felt they actually weren't there for you. So it could be something more serious where you take that personal and you feel offended by that. And it's not that you're just offended by that. I mean, it's what leads to you, for example, possibly feeling unappreciated. It can make you feel sidelined or just ignored. And that's what leads to you taking it personal and having that offense. But here's the thing though, something we do need to realize. Many times people are behaving out of their own experiences, their own values, their own belief systems that they've accumulated from since they were young. So it's not really a reflection of you, but it's a reflection of them. I remember reading a while ago the book, The Four Agreements, and in there he talks about, I think it's mitosis, mitote, something like that. But he basically says that many times when people behave or act out or say something, it's a reflection more about them and the kind of worldview that they have accumulated through their experiences that they've picked up from people in their lives. So it's more reflective of them and their thought process more than it is a reflection of you, because many times it's not about you. And that's why this is the title, don't take things too personal. So looking back at that friend who hasn't called you back or hasn't texted you back, maybe they are going through something themselves, or maybe there's a reason why they haven't called you back or texted you back. And other times, maybe they could well have messaged or called you back sooner, but at the same time, they didn't realize that would cause you to be offended, or maybe cause you like, oh, you wanted an answer quick and they didn't. So many times, yes, they might be able to reply faster, but maybe they just didn't think that it would hurt you or cause an offense, or that you take it personally. And going back to that coworker who you felt brushed you off during lunch, we never know. They might be going through a lot of other things themselves. Maybe they had a huge argument that morning, and honestly, they just want to have some alone time rather than kind of engage with other people, and I feel we've all been there too. And of course, the person who cuts you off in traffic, they're busy, they're impatient, that's definitely something going on with them, and it's not a you thing. Now, the point I'm trying to make is many times, and I read this in a book on mindfulness, it was saying that many times we do get offended and we take things personally and we get upset because things don't turn out the way we intended or imagined them to turn out in our minds. So when things don't go as though we planned, people don't respond the way we thought they should respond, people don't behave or do things the way we thought that they would respond, whether it's something they do say or something they do say, or something they do, or something they don't say, and something they don't do. Both of those things are something that we can take and it can cause us offense. But we can't control everything and we can't control people. There's a million other factors like we talked about earlier on where people are behaving more out of their values, their experiences, more than it's a reflection of you. So we can't expect things to turn out always how we think they should, or people respond the way we think they should respond, because they are their own person. The only thing we can do is try not to be offended. Okay, so I'm glad you're thinking, how do we not take things personally? How do we not get offended? Well, here's the thing, it's definitely easier said than done. But honestly, like everything, it's a process, a step by step, and you get better each and every day. And you'll realize that as time goes on, things that maybe got to you don't get to you as much anymore. Things that did get to you probably don't get to you at all. So next time you feel you're getting offended or you're taking things personally, what can you do? I mean, one thing I would definitely suggest is looking and treating people with compassion, understanding and putting yourself in their shoes, and knowing that there's a lot of things that you don't know about that person that they could be going through that could be determining how they're behaving, what they're saying, what they're doing. And you don't have to approve of it, but it's just that compassion where you're understanding that there's things about this person that I don't know, and so I don't have to take it personally and take it on that kind of face value. It's not a reflection of me, but it's a reflection of them. Another thing to remember is always remember who you are, your self-esteem, your self-worth, and who you are as a person, and just being firmly grounded in that. Because at the same time, when somebody does something that you think is offending you, maybe they say something or they do something, if you have that strong sense of self-belief in yourself, that strong sense of like, I have self-esteem, I know who I am, I have that self-belief, it's not going to faze you. It's not going to faze you as much, because you know it's definitely not about me. It's a reflection of the other person. You're only responsible for the things that you say, that you do. You can't let other people take that control of your emotions and your feelings and how you think and hold things about yourself and other people. You can't give that control, that power to other people. You have to reclaim that. And again, the way of reclaiming that is having that strong sense of self-belief in who you are, that when people can say things or do things, you're able to look at it compassionately, but also separate it from who you are, and that is more a reflection of them. Okay, so that's my short video on taking things personally and being offended, and how we always need to remember that the other person is going through their own thing. We need to look at it with the lens of compassion and understanding and the things that we've talked about. Let me know what it is that you think. I'm curious to know in the comments. Do you think that we do get easily offended, or that we're taking things too personally? What could we do? Is it a perspective shift? What do you think? I'm really curious to know what you think. And thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the last 2 videos on forgiveness, forgiving other people and forgiving yourself. And also, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video.